I hope we have time to show the moving images. Yeah. There's so many work that I'm doing. I'm getting tired. But anyway, this is another short film that I made. It's called The Anthem. The Anthem in Thailand, when you go to cinema, you have to stand up because you have to pay respect to the king and the monarchy, the king anthem. You know, it's a practice that we got influence from India and England, of course. But it's still practiced in Thailand, and recently there's another guy who refused to stand up, and he's now in jail. So, well, I cannot say anything because I don't want to be in jail. But I make a movie 5 minutes. Instead of celebrating someone, I celebrate cinema. So it's about my regular actors talking, and then they, you know, in the second half it's about the process of making film. It's all nonsense, but it's about the beauty of camera movement, beauty of dialogue, and beauty of electronic music.
And how do you decide which project is going to be a kind of installation or movie, or well, your work, your every time working? And
well, many of the time I got contact, through commission, and that, for example, this one I'm interested in because it's about that, and I can put anthem into it, and the way they show it, they show in a regular theater in England, across London. It's like a surprise. Suddenly people see this 5 minutes, something very abstract and you know, with lots of music, and then boom, a cinema, real movie come up. But also is the way of, for me in Thailand, or I don't know here, they have a short film to check the sound system, a Dolby system. You know, they have a short, yeah. So this one is also do that, like the sound check, yeah, sound check movie. This is my work's always about, you know, collaboration, about memory. This one is shot on 16 millimeter, and is where I simulate the ceremony when my father died. We wait for 1 year, and we travel to this river. In fact, this river is going to be one of the new film that I will focus on this river. But for this project is simulate the ash scattering, into the river. And so I invite the people there and a lot of my crew members to be in the boat and simulate the event. For me, my life has two families, you know, the real biological family and the film making family. So when making this film, is like simulate another family, which is a crew member, a film family. Yeah. So in the beginning is really ritual based, you know, you scatter the ash and stuff, but after a while it becomes something else. It becomes a memory of and very contemplative and very joke around the idea of death. Yeah, it's a comedy in a way. And this is an installation I made during the political situation in Thailand in 2007 or 8, and it's called Unknown Forces, and it's hard to explain. For me, I want to express the confusion of the landscape of the people, especially people on the pickup truck. So it's 4 screens. So one of the screen is this mysterious object that we very heighten it through cinema, equipment, and the area is very windy. It's like a mini storm. So it's always wind, and in the back of the pickup truck, you know, it's also very windy, and so there's one guy dancing dangerously, and there's another, two of my regular actors talking against the wind, so you cannot really hear what they talk about. So it's about all this confusion and about the transport, movie transport you somewhere, and pickup truck transport workers, in town, and they don't know where they're going. They're just being moved from one location, construction site to another site. And for me, this culture is very interesting, and that involve politics, because sometimes when we have a political protest in the Royal Park, sometimes people are paid, especially poor people are paid to be there, transport by the pickup truck, without knowing, and just have fun and getting drunk. Yeah. So the film, the movie has this kind of very disco sound, and and mixed with the nature sound, and this mysterious object has become like a jukebox. So it emits like sound, like music from time to time. Yeah.
You don't have clips?
I do. This is the installation in the setting. Yeah, two of them. This is Emerald. This is again about memory of the place that I'm really like, is the hotel, abandoned hotel. That when you go there, you feel the presence of of life, but it's gone. So I try to put memory into the space. I think of this as a spaceship, that the energy of the spaceship, the gas, the oil is from memory of people there. So I put my actor's memory to fuel the ship, So this, how it was installed. This is the latest work about a month ago. In Japan. It's an ongoing project. This is the start of the project that I'm interested in the vine. The vine, the tree that grow that it threatened the national park that I always went to shoot the jungle there. And the problem is this vine spread very quickly, and suddenly people just realize that it's dangerous because it blocked the path of the sunlight. So sometimes the whole forest can collapse because of the darkness and because of this. They cannot have the sun, and the park, the area is more than 400 million square meters, and they have less than 100 park rangers to take care of it. So it's impossible, and so people work very hard to get rid of it and try to, sometimes they use stimulant like illegal drugs, which is from the leaf, so they chew the leaf and they become very strong. They work very hard, but after the day's work they collapse like this. So for me, it's about relationship with nature and how men depend on nature, like these drugs, to deal with nature, to control, which is impossible. So this project it will be ongoing portrait of these workers controlling. Yeah. So that's the end of the slide of art practice and short film, and yeah. So let me show you something. Sorry. The simulation. Wow, let's wake up. There's a concert there. Excerpt. from the old cinema, very classic actor and actress. Yeah. It's torture. It's 7 hours, and I was working with another guy. It's the first time that I do this, so we don't have. Suddenly, I thought there would be someone to control, and then they say, "No, it's you," and I don't know the button. And like, okay, I just say, okay, because you can choose the live image up and this kind of things.
You were playing like a DJ or something like that.
Yes. And half of the concert, the guy who was doing animation was drunk, like I was, please help me, this kind of thing. But it was fun, but yeah. So see, this is Unknown Forces. Yeah, it was when we show it, we put it in different configuration, but the room is turned into a mixture of discotheque and also cinema, because it's a Dolby system that we, so I collaborate with the musician to create like a cinema audio. Yeah. Mm.
And you think different when you are preparing a film for the screen or film for the art gallery? Because one of the pictures you show it, I remember I saw in Marseille, and it was been shown as a film and also as an installation.
Yeah, that's I think that's one of the very few, maybe only film that has this that can, or maybe two films that can, I think, can work into both venues or situation. Yeah, it's Emerald, right? Or Phantoms? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Emerald.
Yeah.
The one with the hotel and the lights, white lights.
Yeah. So yeah, like that. So another work is what I didn't talk about in the slideshow. It was the work that I made for Liverpool Biennale. They asked me to create a work there, so I went there several times to the city and to be inspired and to create a work, and I didn't, and I was just heartbroken, so I couldn't think of anything but men. So so it was a hard situation, and I just go there like zombie, like, oh, okay, it's beautiful, but then, you know, I noticed this, the wind and the sun, that is so cloudy, and of course Liverpool is known for this grayness, and it's, there's no sun at all, and it is hard to get, you know, and it's very depressing. So I proposed the work about men, two men, and that to put them in the spaceship, and that for me, you know, they're not real, but they exist in cinematic spaceship just above the cloud. It's called Above the Cloud, so they're always there, yeah. And the movie installed in the room that they always like repeat it, and it's like again, it's like a spaceship in that space, yeah. So it's a portrait of man in like Uncle Bunmi too. When you put the people in the forest, like the forest of the old film with Day for Night. So for me, in this case, I put them into the like a science fiction environment, and using the actor, you know, who really like reincarnation of them too, yeah. So maybe I cannot show the whole work. It's 11 minutes. Do we have time? So you can see it's a personal memory, but at the same time it also reference to forms of movies, science fiction or like Iron Pussy, those kind of soap opera. So it's all over the place as long as cinema, So yeah. What do I have? Yeah. I think we should skip the two works, the emerald about the hotel and waterfall is another one. I'd like to talk briefly about primitive project. Is the one that is the most recent. Before that Vines project is something that Uncle Bunmi is part of it. Okay. So for me, this is the first inspiration from it's from a little book that was given to me by a monk near my hometown, and in the text it's called "A Man Who Recall His Past Life." And little text, he is a hunter, and he's a wandering ghost. He's a buffalo, and he's a wandering ghost again. And then he's a cow, and then he's Uncle Bunmi. So, and it's written by this monk. Yeah, that's the name of the monk. And so this is the real Uncle Bunmi. And, I tracked down his surviving sons, and I found his two sons. And so this is the only photo I have actually about a guy. And he looked quite like my father. So it's inspiration from there. But then I put a lot of my own memory into it, because I couldn't find the real, the justify the story that justify making a biography of the guy. So it has to be something of a mixture of interpretation. So in this primitive project is about surveying the northeast of Thailand. It's my region. So Uncle Bunmi is part of it. So when we travel along, I didn't know what I want to do. What are we going to do? I traveled with the crew members, some of them, and my actress, the older lady, because again we're family. So we just travel and then there's some references about the old ghost story in Thailand and illustration, comic books, and TV or movie that I grew up with, and yeah. So again, the life, the difference between death and life is sometimes non-existent. The line between that. Sometimes the wife who die or the husband who die come back and take care of the surviving one and appear as normal. Sometimes she cooks for him and they even make love. So it is really coexistent between worlds, two worlds. Some photo reference that I like from Thailand, and also the idea of lights. And this is a military light. This is from Google, and it's something that it's a reference of a military light, and it is beautiful, but it's dangerous. I like these two feeling you got. Because when I went to the village, I did a lot of research and we interview a lot of people in that particular village in the northeast. There's a lot of communism that spread during the 60s to the 80s. That the villagers are very tortured. Psychologically, physically, and the army occupy the village because they want to curb communism. The village is near the river, that divide Thai and Laos. So the communists come from Vietnam and through Laos and to Thailand. So and because of the problem of the political and economic problem, and people are very intrigued by communism ideology, about equality. And even now, I'm very intrigued by the idea. I mean, of that, but maybe it's utopia. It is not possible. And the idea of lights on this is what I drafted up. And the idea of light in the sky, when you talk to old people who experience the hardship, they see the light at night, because many of the men in the village escape into the jungle because they had no choice. If they ask you, are you a communist? Of course, if you say yes, they will kill you on the spot. But if you say no, they will beat you up. So it's very hard for people then. But so the village is only remain women and children. So men went to the forest, and I think the brave one were the women, because they're the one who take care of the land, and they really supply the food for their husband. Sometimes they hide the food in the buffalo ring, something like bell, and and if they were captured, they will be shot. So this kind of danger that they have to face through each day. So and about the light, also the light that shine at night, different colors that the government, the army wants to find people hiding in the landscape. So so this is So I decided to work with the teenagers, who didn't have the first-hand experience. For me, it's more interesting because I fall more in tune with them, the way they dress, the way they listen to music, and so I put a lot of document that I interview the older generation away, and I start to work what is there, what is remaining there, and to imagine, to play game together. And so we decide to build a spaceship. Because I like the idea of transportation, and there's no better time to escape from Thailand now. Current political situation is always a repeat of that violence, and the army is always involved, unfortunately. So we play, when they're doing the rice field and I'm doing my movie, I shot a lot, and we build this thing together. And then I travel. I went again. Before that, I traveled along the Northeast and interview people about their history, and especially focus on people who could remember, who claim that they could remember their past life. So I made a lot of research on that and a lot of document. Yeah, and this woman in red, she was born as a young boy, and she remember her past life. So this girl, so we just make document about the landscape and the way people deal with death and how they build a little houses. For me, it's like a little ship for them to stay. And about the architecture, and also about the river. It's near the river, it's always flooding, and there's this concern about the dam built in Thailand and in China that sometimes control the water, and China doesn't belong to the committee of investigation, so it's very hard to pinpoint what's the cost. And it affects so many people, not only in Thailand, but also in Cambodia and in Laos. So so you see this devastating thing and wonderful thing like this, when people they decorate the in animals form. Yeah, and crazy thing like this is the temple, and the guy is really self guru, so he established himself as as a guru, and there's many worshipper, and when he died, they put himself in the coffin, and his body never decomposed. So I really like this. Even him, he need a spaceship. So like that. So then we went to the village, and then I start to meet with the teenagers, and we went around. I hang out for several months, and just being there and take photos, take video, come back, and then we help. We collaborate by trying to build something, and then it turned to spaceship. So this is what the teenager draw, and it's very simple. And then I really like this one. There's one of the teen draw is, I think it's a mixture of a machine and an animal, like bio. So but what he wrote in here is really funny. It's like it's like a song. This is like eyes, right? Two eyes. And what he say here? Don't look at my eyes. I don't know. It's like don't look at my eyes, please, because I hurt every time you do that. And this is a little bubble word. He say, look what you've done to me. So it's like the way that he expressed to his girlfriend. This one he say, I'm always out of your eyesight. Yeah, this kind of thing. Yeah. So we start to plan to, okay, let's build from this animal. So it becomes simpler and simpler because of the budget and the time we have. So this is the draft of the spaceship. And then we start to build a ship. So it takes about a month. Even though when you think about spaceship, you think about the future, right? And you think about the technology. But when you see this thing, it's very primitive. It's really homemade. You can see the handmade quality. When you look closer to the wood, in there you can see, the rough. It's not metal. It's So, but this is I have the artist draw, like do illustration, like in the old sci-fi magazine, about how to incorporate them in the village. So then we make game. We play game with the spaceship, and we play acting. Just have the soldier, document, and then we make this short film, and many short film in the installation about destruction and joy, because these are reference to old movie, Thai movie, when they have this disaster thing going on, and so. So we use the spaceship, and then we shot. So in the letter to Uncle Bunmi is like a prelude before the movie, so that we shot. We document houses around there, and then we shot in the field, and the idea of ghost. Yeah, and then the music video. So the output is, again, I got the material, and okay, so I made little movies, and then I made photograph, and to show, this kind of thing. So maybe we can show a little thing of of the simulation. Yes. This is the primitive project. In the installation, it has many screens when hanging, big and small. So when you enter the space, you have your. It's like a game. You have documentary, you have fiction, you have things that all feature these villagers, and you put your own narrative into it, and then you go into another big room, which is you say, oh, I should show how it was installed. So you go into the big room, and I think it's here. This is how it's installed. It's this is another option, to have big screen outside, but normally it's separate from the small screen. This one is in Liverpool. We have many screen and the sound. Sometimes there's a directional sound. You sit there and you hear. This is in Paris. We have the hall leading to. There's photograph document of the history and of the game that we play. And this is in the big room. There's 2 movies. Yeah. So let's see the movie. So in the big room you see the fiction element, but in the first space you see mini screen that has behind the scene and whatever. But in the big room it's like a cinema with 2 screens. Yeah. Where's the sound?
เขาโม้ค่อยว่าค่อยเป็นคนระลึกชาติได้ตอนที่ค่อยเป็นเด็กน้อยค่อยจื้อได้ฮอดแสงสว่างมันมีได้แสงเดียวแต่มันมีหลายแสงหลายสีค่อยก็คิดว่ามันเป็นสัตว์หรือยักษ์ย่างที่บินอยู่ในอากาศมันเป็นจุดสีใสๆสมมันมักมาหาค่อยยามค่อยเอ็นหน้าโดยเฉพาะยามมื้อแลงแล้วค่อยกันมักแล่นไหลมันเฮาป่าสมมุติใหญ่เพิ่นก็คือว่าค่อยเป็นบ้ามีสังกับผีเฮาแต่เขาก็ไม่ได้ยุ่งไม่ได้สนใจนำไม่ได้เวลาพาค่อยไปโรงพยาบาลหรือว่าไปหาหมอผีเนาะในป่านั่นน่ะค่อยค้นพบว่าแสงแต่ละดวงมันมีบุคลิกของมันอยู่ตอนที่มันลอยมาไกลค่อยนะค่อยเห็นภาพข้างในแห้งแสงตัวเลือดแจ้งแห้งซ้ำเลยแห้งมีเลื้งยาวกว่าค่อยก็เลยมักนำแสงที่มันแจ้งกว่าหมู่มันนำเมียเพราะว่าแสงมันใหญ่มันก็ระนักแล้วก็ไปสาคือผู้เฒ่าเนี่ยค่อยระย้างนำแล้วก็เบิ่งภาพมันคือว่าแบบมันถ่ายทอดเข้ามาในตัวเฮาเลยเว้ากับเด็กผู้อื่นเขาก็พากันเว้าเรื่องรายการโทรทัศน์เรื่องนั้นเรื่องนี้ค่อยก็ไม่เข้าใจพอ ราะว่าค่อยมีรายการโทรทัศน์ของเจ้าของอยู่แต่โทรทัศน์ของค่อยน่ะต้องย้างเบิ่งหมดเลยลบคนได้นำแต่ค่อยมีรู้เรื่องบ่เลยยังน้อยอยู่เวลาผ่านไปค่อยกันมีค่อยได้เข้าป่าแล้วค่อยก็มีได้สังเกตเลยว่าแสงมันลดจำนวนลงเรื่อยๆบางที่ก็อาจเป็นเพราะว่าค่อยนี่ไปสนใจแนวอื่นแบบพวกมอเตอร์ไซค์พวกกีตาร์พวกเรื่องนั่นนี่นะหรือมีซ้ำก็เป็นคือแนวเขาเว้าอ่ะโลกเปลี่ยนไปนะมันมีแสงเต็มไปหมดค่อยไปสมัครงานติดฟ้าเพดานอยู่ในตึกวันยำแรงค่อยกันไปซ้อยหมู่ค่อยเอ็ดไหลมากับไหลยาสูบตอนนั้นมีโรคระบาดตัวใบยาสูบอะขึ้นเป็นคราบเหลืองๆเต็มไปหมดหมู่ค่อยพยายามแล้วผสมยาเอ็ดสูตรนั้นสูตรนี้มากมันก็มีเศร้ามือนึงก็มีพ่อใหญ่นึงเพิ่นมาขายสารเคมีอยู่แล้วเพิ่นว่าเอามาจากโรงงานขายทหารหมู่ค่อยก็ใส่ยาของเพิ่นปัดแห้งเป็นลายเก่าๆค่อยก็แห้งเครียดคิดว่าเขาขี้โต๊ะแล้วแต่หมู่ค่อยว่าในยุคนั้นนะเขามีคืดแนวนั้นเขาก็พากันไปหาพ่อใหญ่ผู้นั้นไปขอยาแก้แล้วก็เย็บไปทีละคน2 คนค่อยก็เลยสงสัยก็เลยนำไปเบิ่ง บัดไปฮอดมันเป็นห้องใหญ่ใหญ่หลายแล้วก็มีนางสายอยู่ถึงจอหมู่เขาต้อนรับค่อยอย่างดีคือบริการลง
Si queréis podemos abrir ya el turno de preguntas porque él ya por su parte ya está. I don't know if we can have maybe a little more light in the audience. No sé si hay un micrófono para el público o tiene que ser así a pulmón. Ahí hay una pregunta. Si te animas mientras llega el micrófono.
Me gustaría preguntarle, en un mundo donde lo audiovisual está en todos los ámbitos, en las películas, las instalaciones, pero también en los celulares y en todos los medios de transporte. Me gustaría hacer la pregunta ontológica, ¿qué es para él el cine hoy? ¿Qué es el cine?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm talking with the machine here, and she said she cannot hear your question. So let's see. Maybe you can help.
Yeah, I can. He was asking about in a world where images are all over in the mobile phones and internet and everywhere. If you can say, what's cinema today for you? More or less.
And for me, it's I don't know. It's about my take with moving images. So I have used mobile phone to shoot. I didn't show you, but I also use many medium, video, film, and for me, it's a democratic medium that it can, that can expand, because it's like a village when we communicate, or like a cave in the beginning, but now everything is connected and that you can share. But so there's a tendency of the information overloaded, and I think all these thing I don't view as a good or bad, but for me it was a way. It is, my nephew, for example, he can follow some program on TV, but I cannot. So I think with this influx of the image is changing the way we think about time, and that. And that in the future generation, it will change from that. I don't know. I cannot judge good or bad. But for example, if you show the film from now to the people 40 years ago, people sometimes will get lost. Let's say Hollywood movie, because they cannot follow the idea of time, of contemporary time. So in the future, you'll be an old man, we'll be an old man, and then we can say, you don't understand this thing. Yeah, so this, yeah. So, but for me, I just try to express what I feel, and what is there's a word like my time is not your time. So I still have my own time, and I will present that no matter how old-fashioned it is in the future. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if it's coming.
Hi. Do you hear me? Yes? Okay. I would like to ask Api, how do you think on the structure of your films, everything that has to do with sound, from the street, and then about dialogues, or for example, some ambient sound just to make something like a trance. How do you build or think the sound?
It's is already translated. For me, I'm really obsessed with sound. I mean, from music and to ambience. But lately, I for the past, I think 5-6 years, I stopped listening to music, and the music that appear in my film are mostly from friend or from someone that I love, and something that the crew member music, that sometimes when we went to shoot, they always play this song. And so when I look at the footage, I always associate this music with the landscape, the idea, the process of filmmaking. So that's why I put the music in my film. But my personally, I just stopped listening to music, and I concentrate on ambient sound, because for me they are like music. And in the movie, we have a lot of. I work with the only one sound designer. So after we shot a lot of movie in the jungle, in the nature, we have a big collection of a big library of sound, jungle sound. So it's like instruments. So in the movie, we use a lot of artificial like manipulation of those sounds to convey certain meaning. And in fact, it's very controlled. For me, this bird has to come here. This this leaf falling has to come here. Everything has how you say, it's like orchestration of natural sound. But for Uncle Bunmi, specifically, we experiment a bit with the Japanese sound designer. So he actually took the musician to go into the forest. 3 of them. He has a violinist, and we have, I think, guitar or something. But he put them in the jungle that far away that they don't hear each other, and he's the one who control. He's the one with the mixer and recorder out on the edge of the jungle. So they start to play, and then he process the sound, and then he mix the sound. So there's a mixture of man-made instrument and nature sound that he cannot control. The birds or something get into it, and then with that he manipulate again in the computer and use it as a score for Uncle Bunmi in some parts. Yeah.
About the you said somewhere about the mixing of the sound in the film, that at the one of the last days you decide to change.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And can you explain, because maybe it's your film with more dialogues?
Well, for Uncle Bunmi, it's hard. It's different from me because the film has different tribute. So it come into different form, classical form. The way I shot was not my style that I used to. So there's a reaction shot and there's a more close up. But close up for me is this. we understand each other. A close up, okay. And it's hard to get this, and so when we do that, is the sound mixer stumble. He has a problem because it's not his own style also to mix it like that. So he mixed it very traditionally, and then when we finished the mixing, we did a screen test in the theater, and it didn't sound right. It's very, I don't know. So the last day we changed the whole thing. It's make everyone crazy, to change it to make more ambience and stuff. To the sound somehow when we refer to image in a classical way, and when we do the sound the same, it doesn't work. We need to introduce some kind of contemporary point of view. That it's not about copying the old film. So the sound is one of the elements that signify the contemporary treatment of this movie. Yeah.
Sí, bueno, en primer lugar, un enorme placer. Y mi pregunta tiene que ver con ese tiempo particular que usted plantea
Yeah, it worked, but it got a lot of this, so it's very hard for me. Yes, I can hear you, but there's a lot of interference.
Acá sí, hay poquita interferencia.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Ahora sí.
Yeah. No, going on and off. So I can hear you, but let's try.
Sí, mucha interferencia hay acá. Sí, hay un poco menos, ¿no?
Okay, a little better.
Sí, ¿ahora?
Yes.
Bueno, en primer lugar, un enorme placer por estar acá. Y mi pregunta es, ya que recién se refirió a la particularidad de su tiempo, quisiera saber específicamente cómo se escribe ese tiempo en el guión. ¿Cómo escribe usted en el guión ese tiempo? ¿Cómo se puede leer en un guión suyo el modo en que se materializa el tiempo personal? Me refiero sobre todo a esta idea de tiempos largos, dilatados, que tal vez no tienen un exceso de acción física, como me refiero, por ejemplo, al plano 1 del tío Bunme, por ejemplo. ¿Cómo lo escribe?
Thank you. For me, that's the very interesting question, because it's hard for me to express time in words, but I have to. So I try to put myself into a different mode, not as a filmmaker, but as a writer. So for example, in Tropical Malady, the second half of the film almost has no dialogue, but I have a script, like maybe 30 pages of explanation of what's going on. So it's about explaining basically for the funder to ask for funding. So we need that. But and at the same time, along the way, it's a mystery to me now about time. When I write script, I cannot judge. Because it depends on the live location. Because obviously, not in the classical way, 1 minute of the screen time is 1 page, in a Hollywood way. So basically, it's about 90 pages. But for my movie, sometimes it's 40 pages or 50, but sometimes it becomes 3 hours. So. And it's impossible to tell, so it's about this post-production and try to work, and so still a mystery. Yes.
She was asking specifically about the first shot of the
Uncle
Bumi.
The same.
How it was writing in the script?
The same thing, I described the buffalo and how it walked, and the lighting and the smoke in the scene, just to have the people who read, the producer, to the best that I can explain. Yeah, so.
Aquí hay una chica.
Hola. Hola. Sí, yo quería preguntarte sobre el tema del arte en tus películas, cómo es que se trabaja, porque tienes muchas locaciones que son lugares reales. Entonces, ¿cómo es el trabajo del arte desde la película en relación al espacio que utilizan, por un lado? Y la segunda pregunta es sobre cómo, al trabajar con gente que no está habituada a actuar, ¿cuál es tu forma de involucrarte con ellos y involucrarlos con tu proyecto y que terminen actuando en las películas. Gracias.
For me, again, I work with the art directors for a long time, and he started with me from the first project as as a person who deliver catering. So he just doing all this give water to everyone, and so we have unspeakable kind of understanding, but at the same time we have to go to location together, and excuse me, I'm so bad at this. Thank you. Give me a moment. So he always involved with going to location and to see the space and to really design on the spot. Yeah. Man, what's wrong with this city? Sorry. But yeah, that's all I can tell. But also working with non-professional actor is something that I cannot get from professional. First of all, they are cheap, and second of all, they provide me total time of the time that we spend on the set. Because I really improvise through their action. Sometimes I say, okay, how about you walk like this? The other day, because I try to emulate the sound, the action of him or their life into the movie. So it's very important for me to stay with them, and which a professional actor cannot provide me this time. Yeah. Oh.
¿Hay alguna? Aquí hay. No sé quién tiene el micrófono.
Hola. Bueno, vos hablaste del tema del montaje, en realidad de que vas a filmar una película y no sabes bien cuál es qué decisión tomar en el medio del rodaje. Entonces vas probando distintos encuadres, distintas formas. Me acordé de Wong Kar-wai, por ejemplo, ¿no? Un director que termina de construir una película y tarda por ahí un año en hacer el montaje hasta que le entrega la película, ¿no? A último momento, por ejemplo, en Cannes, ¿no? Una cosa así. Y quería saber, bueno, si cuánto tardás si demorás más en el proceso de postproducción que en el de producción en sí de la película. Y algo respecto a la música, si la música, ¿cuándo te aparece la música usualmente? Si cuando estás en postproducción y ahí viene el tema, o ya el tema genera la imagen, digamos.
Thank you. For me, for the time of the post-production and production, it was it's hard to tell because it depends on the project, and also sometimes I edit myself. But most of the feature film, I work with the editor. So we use Final Cut Pro, so we share projects. So I'm at my house and then I send him a project, and most of the time it's up to him. And I wrote a little note in the script that I want this, like the idea, mostly feelings. and he's the one who really analyzes things. I'm not. I'm going through my instinct, and he can tell the situation of the from the footage. Sometimes he say, he look at the footage of this day and he say, oh, you have problem, right, this day. So he's very good. And so the process of that, when he's stuck, he call me, and then he really don't lost. So I edit, and then I send him the project. So and then we discuss. So it's hard to tell the time what is that. But we have lately festival has become very important. So we have not much time to edit. So I wish I could be Wong Kar-wai to have time, because we have to submit to festival, and for example, it had only 2 months or 3 months editing. So lately we always edit along the way, shooting. And for me, I use this computer on the set. When we shot, and then I edit at night, from the video tab to get the idea and about the time and the flow. So it's about that, and without the festival deadline, I think I will keep fixing the film forever. So sometimes it's good to have a deadline like that, and I believe that Wong Kar-wai is banned from Cannes because of that, or then banned to do that, because lately they've become very strict. Because when you have a film, and when you do something like that, and it happened with Wong Kar-wai, with Hu Shaoxian, when you submit the film for festival because of the rush, and then after the festival you have another version. It's terrible, I think, because it's not finished, and it's not fair for other filmmakers. So anyway, but I love them anyway. So that's the thing about time, and for the music, I think it's about all these friends and the how it related to my experience during the shooting, the sound, and also it linked to the image or the situation. I really like to have the audience know that the process of filmmaking. Sometimes they look at the camera, sometimes they're doing some awkward thing that that is acting. So it's just to record or document the memory of making this, making this out another world. Yeah.
Hola, me gustaría saber cómo ves la mirada que tiene Oriente hacia Occidente en este momento, y también de Occidente hacia Oriente, y cómo el arte puede articular esas miradas.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean. The idea of the idea of a Western point of view to the.
It's in both ways, and how art can talk about this.
Well, I'm really just look at the essence of filmmaking. For Thailand, for example, there's a lot of local story. You have ghost story. You have transvestite story, but in the essence of it is about film language, how you edit, how you treat cinema, and in Thailand and many places the language is very universal. If you cut out all the story, it's about this dolly shot and subjective, objective, and this. For me, is that's what I call universal language in cinema, which for me it's not it's not about east or west. East or west is more of a facade, like the way we dress or that. So for me, it's about the language of movie, and of course the difference of culture had different effect on the logic of the character in the film, but for me that's that's part of it. That's part of in the world that when you watch the film you don't understand, but for me it's okay. It's differences and that it's like you're going to another country and you drive a car past some ceremony and you know, oh, what is that? It's so exotic, and then you just pass. You don't have time to go back to look. But for me, yeah, that's life. That's okay. Just go on. Yeah. For me, what I concern more is about language. Yeah, about how it's treated, and that's kind of scary when you make the same film. Yeah.
Hola. Tengo dos preguntas. Una, ¿qué directores te gustan? Algunos directores que te gusten y algunos que influyan directamente en tu obra. Y la otra es si conoces algo de cine argentino o latinoamericano, alguna película o director que te llame la atención.
Oh, I lost.
He's asking about, Argentinian director and what to do not Argentina.
So thanks. The question about the director, there are too many of them. I mean, I like the director that, right? That's the question. The director that I like, the first one. Yeah, it's the the one that has character. Again, it's not about judging which one is better, but I mean, I prefer the one that has character in their film. For example, when you see Almodovar, you know it's Almodovar film, or Woody Allen, or I don't know, Bela Tarr, or Chai Ming Liang. You the one that, or M. Night Shyamalan, Hollywood, whatever. So you see that they have their own personality, and that's what I admire. But if I have to choose, I'm maybe. Now I keep changing my answer, but now maybe Oliveira, the Portuguese, the fact that he lived so long and he still kick ass. That's what I wish, and about the South American films, I honestly I don't have access that much to film. Of course, I mentioned Alessandro Alonso at Liverpool, and also Lucrecia Martel, but I also like another Chilean director. His name is Jose Luis Latvia. Yeah, Leva. Yeah. He's super. Yeah. Who else? Yeah. So. Yeah.
Creo que había una pregunta allí.
Nada más, chicos, que tenemos que ir.
Allí.
Hola. ¿Hasta qué punto no sentís una presión que sienten varios cineastas de países periféricos o del tercer mundo de entregar a los festivales de cine películas que sean objetos misteriosos, digamos, o pintorescas, o que tengan elementos fantasiosos, específicos, que tanto los que dan subsidios para los cineastas como los mismos festivales suponen o esperan de determinados países como Tailandia, como Filipinas, como Argentina, como Brasil, como determinados países? No sé si vos sentís esa presión y no tenés miedo de que tal vez tus películas en algún momento puedan convertirse en algo así, si se entiende.
Yes, I'm very aware of this issue about the exoticism in cinema. It's kind of, I think it's kind of like abuse that for the sake of, you know, exotic. But for me, my world is very exotic. I mean, I just present what I really enjoy in Thailand, in the landscape, especially when I grow up. It's really like that. I mean, I grew up in a wood house, and you know, we still have old style toilet, and the way we cook was like with the wood, and you know, it's not gas. So this kind of thing that I sometimes think that the movie has to reflect you, and has to to really reflect how you go through life, like to when you mature. And for me, the movie kind of doing that. You know, for example, during this time, I was more interested in political situation for the past year. So for the next film with the water, I think it will be something else. It will show me and actually my crew interest in more of political situation that has become personal. You know, because I'm really only talk about what I know. So so. I think the work can show. I don't know how to say. Sometimes, especially when you talk about exoticism, you can find a lot in American Hollywood film. It's about exotic in the American way that they're selling you this dream, and they're selling you this idea of the free country or the heroes or whatever. So there's a different definition of thing, but in the bottom line is how you see that the movie is presented in a very honest way, and that's sometimes I talk to my editor, is it too exotic? Well, for me, to the point that we don't think about it. We think as long as we happy and we feel that it's from our Thai, from our personal perspective, it works for us. So so that's how it is. Yeah.